you know, the way that we started the game, the way Boston started the game, for that energy really gave us a lift. And it gave us a lift, particularly late, I thought. But it also, anytime you're down that much, you know, you have to do something, you know, out of the ordinary a little bit to get back in the game, whatever that is. And when you have, you know, a group of people that you know are behind you, and particularly when they're behind you, kind of thick or thin, you know, rain or shine. And there was a lot of rain early, and they were a big part of, you know, helping the sun come out.
Doing good, big win, big rebound. Come on, first one, ready to go. Come on.
The Atlanta Hawks complete one of the greatest comebacks of this current NBA season, down 30 points to the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics, and also the #1 overall team in the NBA. Also, this is the greatest comeback in Hawks history, as the second greatest comeback in Hawks history now was also to Boston Celtics in 2013. And lastly, this is the first time since 2002-2003 that a team has came back down plus 30 points against a #1 seed in their conference since that year. The Hawks making all types of history tonight with this victory over the Boston Celtics in one of the, probably, again, in terms of an overall game, maybe not one of the best overall games you've watched this entire year, but one of the most exciting, one of the most drama-filled, winning the game 120-118. Welcome into Believe in Hawks. It's your boy, Bryce Lewis. We're going to break the game down as the Hawks, like I said, listing off some of the history moments that were made, winning over Boston. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. If you watch this game, especially the first quarter, Hawks give up 40-plus points in the first quarter, you're probably thinking the game's over, right? It makes sense. Boston's the #1 seed. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they've been one of the best teams all year. Hawks have a ton of injuries. I mean, it completely says, yeah, this is definitely a game where the Hawks can just get blown right out of the water at State Farm. You know, obviously there's probably some Boston fans in the crowd. They're probably lit right now, are lit at that point in the game. And, you know, I could see people just being like, all right, look, this game's what we probably expected it to be. You cut the lead down at half, and it's still a big deficit, but you cut it down. And then in the third quarter, to just come back immediately, get within, I believe they got within 2 points after DeJounte hit a three. Vic Krejci having an 8-0 run by himself, which I will give him his flowers in a minute because he has made a lot of improvement since just playing and coming up to the main roster with these guys. You know, but Hawks doing that. Celtics weathered the storm, got back to around 9 to 10, 11 points for the rest of the third quarter. Hawks got it down to 6 before the fourth. Then were able to take the lead in the fourth, trading back and forth as the game went on. Tatum would hit a shot, Brown would hit a shot, Bogey would hit a shot, DJ would hit a shot. And there was a stretch where I believe the Hawks didn't score a single field goal in the fourth quarter for almost 5 minutes. So you may be wondering to yourself, how did the Hawks win this game then? Free throws. Obviously, in honor of March Madness, the Hawks clearly wanted to join in on the fun. We just saw a game, if you watched, Clemson and Baylor. Clemson won the game. Now, the difference is Clemson was leading the majority of this game. But Clemson won the game down the stretch without hitting field goals. They hit free throws. And for that stretch of basketball where the Hawks did not score a field goal, they were making free throws. DeJounte missed 2, I believe, to start that. But DeAndre stepped up, hit his free throws as he got fouled, got to the line. DJ was able to make a couple when he got back to the line. And, you know, that was able to kind of hold them over when Boston was getting some buckets to, you know, trade back. They had a lead for a little bit. You know, that's what kept the Hawks pretty much in it until they started making buckets again, which then you got a big shot from DJ. got a big three from Bogey to take the lead. Then you were up one. Final sequence of the game, right? Up one after a Bogey three. You're able to get a stop on Boston, right? So you take it down the floor. DJ tries to get to his patented mid-range, misses, right? Got to also give flowers to Clint Capella, someone I've been tough on this year. Clint Capella, big rebound, gets it out to DeAndre Hunter. Now, in that situation, usually with the time that is left on that clock, because I believe it was under 24 seconds. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe it was under 24 seconds. You probably would hold the ball there, right? DeJounte shot. What did I say, DeJounte? DeAndre, sorry. I'm excited right now. DeAndre took a three, which was ill-advised. Like, trust me, basketball people will be like, that's a terrible shot to take, especially if he missed it. Because you're supposed to hold the ball there, and it's a three. But he took the shot, hit the three. Now you're up 4 points with 9 seconds left. And that pretty much was the dagger in the game. Boston took basically a full 8 seconds to score a basket, which there was 1 second left once Atlanta got basically the ball inbounded after Quin took a timeout, finished the game out. So, like I said, Hawks win a big-time game here to the Boston Celtics. You know, just incredible. I mean, the energy in State Farm Arena tonight was almost like a playoff atmosphere, especially if you watch this comeback happen, as you watch the comeback in real time, if you were in the arena listening to this, or if you were watching at home, you know, you could feel the energy. And when the Hawks made that comeback, it was incredible, you know. I was making a joke on Twitter. We have White Boy Summer back in Atlanta. Bogey, Garrison, Matthews, lighting them up. They said, Vic Krejci, the white man, that white man is dangerous. Real ones know. We ain't had that. It says Gallo, Bogey, and Kevin. But tonight, man, it was just a great performance. Quin coaching his butt off. Quin coached a heck of a game. Heck of a game against this team. And I will say this. Ever since last year's playoff series, Boston has more talent than Atlanta. But if you, especially from that game 3 on, and then even this year, the Hawks pretty much in majority of the games have been competitive. Quin has figured something out with Boston. Boston has been one of the better defensive teams all year long. But still, when they play the Hawks, they struggle against them defensively. And I feel like Quin has figured something out there that allows him, clearly, even with injuries to Trae Young, you know, Jalen Johnson, Bey, Kongwu, all of them, could still drop 120 points. And like I said, it was incredible to see the fight from the team. You know, DeAndre Hunter spoke after the game when they interviewed him on the postgame show and said, listen, we just had to fight, and that's what we did. And listen, Boston was not fully healthy either. Drew Holiday didn't play. But they still had Tatum, and they still had Brown, they still had Horford, they still had a lot of their main guys out there, and they lost this game. You know, people are going to make excuses. Well, they're basically a game away from clinching the number 1 seed. They weren't focused. They weren't, you know, concentration wasn't there. They probably got up early and probably were like, oh, okay, we'll probably win this game, so we can kind of cruise the rest of the game, right? And whether those are valid or not, it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, I feel like unless you completely just stop playing the game, you don't choke away 30 points. At some point when the lead is dwindling, you're like, all right, guys, we got to kind of wake up here. We got to wake up and get ready to play. And they never, and they did. They woke up when the Hawks basically made it a one-possession game. But then the Hawks, like I said, found a way with what they had to figure it out, to figure out what's the best way to compete, what's the best way to, you know, get back and score and be effective. And that, to me, was what was one of the biggest things in this game for this Hawks team. Like I said, Bogey hitting big shots. That third quarter, fourth quarter stretch, Bogey was hitting some big shots there, getting to the paint. Bogey hit some big threes, but he also hit some key. He was driving to the rim, attacking off the ball those Boston defenders. Clearly, Atlanta felt like tonight the Celtics could not guard them on the perimeter. They were attacking their defense, and they were able to get good results out of it. Like I said, DeJounte, you got to give DeJounte credit here because, you know, he's had statistically a great month. I can't remember the stats. I think he's averaging like 26, 27. All his numbers are up, right? He's had a great month. Like, he really has played really, really good basketball from a statistical standpoint. But I still know within the fan base, he's still been a person where, you know, oh, he's doing too much ISO. He isn't maybe, you know, feeding his teammates, things like that. And listen, DeJounte, has he been perfect? No, he hasn't been perfect. And the thing is, he's not going to be perfect. No one is perfect. Trey wasn't perfect. But at the end of the day tonight, if you look at his stat line, he didn't have the greatest shooting night. 2 of 9 from 3, 8 of 22 from the field, right? And you're thinking, wow, DeJounte struggled. Only had 19 points. But one key thing he did tonight, he had 15 assists. That is a man who said, listen, I may not have my shot going. And obviously he's going to still try to score the ball because, you know, he's one of their top guys and everything. But 15 assists tonight, which tied for the second highest plus minus on the entire team. Bogey had one more point than him. That showed maturation in his game. He also had 3 steals, including a big turnover. Him and Capella were able to force late on Boston. That helped get the 3 to Bogey late to take the lead. Bogey and him both DeJounte and Bogey played 40, 41 minutes tonight. Bogey had 22 points. DeAndre Hunter, listen, still coming off the bench, but finishing games. Clearly with the rotation they have, that is probably the best move. He had 24, led the team. 4-8. We can talk about how much DeAndre Hunter has improved this season, has improved his game, stepped his game up to the next level. And again, showing tonight, hitting 4 big free throws down the stretch, getting big 3-pointer to get the dagger in the game. Gotta give DeAndre Hunter his flowers. Like I said, we already talked about Vic Krejci. I said, listen, this man, when he first started playing, when he was called up, he did good things well, but he wasn't aggressive offensively. And that was one thing I think I wanted to see from Vic. I wanted him to become more aggressive offensively. I wanted him to do more offensively, right? And he's done that the last few games. He's getting up there with 14, 15, 16-point games. And that's exactly what you need. I said when he also first came up to the team, I said, Vic Krejci is a very interesting player because he's 6'8", long, can pass, can shoot threes. I mean, he's improved defensively. Like, he seems like a real rotation NBA player you can play. And right now, with the loss of Bay, if this team was healthy again, you're probably what? Your rotation is probably what? Trey, DeJounte, probably. I mean, I could literally see I could see Quin starting Vic at the 3, and then going Jalen and going Capella, and then your next 5 would clearly be Bogey, Hunter, Okongwu, and then probably one of the Matthews, probably. So the fact that Vic, if this team was healthy, which he's currently in, starting lineup, could potentially stay in the starting lineup because of his versatility. He can literally play 1 through 4, and that's like something that I feel like the Hawks have lacked is guys who can play multiple positions. Like it's almost like they can play another position, but they're not effective from that position. Vic Krejci can be effective as your point guard, as your 2 guard, as your 3. Probably he's least effective as 4 because he's playing against bigger players and he's a skinnier guy. But that versatility helps him seize the floor. And then what he did tonight against one of the best teams in the NBA and go on a personal 8-0 run to help spark a comeback against them. And a historic comeback in franchise history is a big deal. And that and the ramifications of this can sometimes be, it's not just that he played that way. It's that now he may have solidified himself for a roster spot next season. He may now be in this rotation next season, depending on what changes they make, because it feels like he has earned a spot through his play to be there and get there. And so, you know, I just want to give flowers to him, man. He was huge tonight. Huge tonight for the Hawks, man, to get that win. And even Capella, man. Like I said, I be getting on Capella, but Capella, and the thing about Capella, and this is something I have said repeatedly about Clint Capella, I don't think he could be your starting NBA center and play 30 minutes a game and you lean on him to carry your offense, right? And I think also part of that is because I want Okongwu to get that role. But I did say one thing he does really well, and he's always done well throughout his entire NBA career, is rebound the basketball. And against the Boston Celtics, Clint doesn't play a lot when Okongwu plays, because usually Okongwu finishes games because of matchups. But if you think about it logically, and if you watch the last few games, Capella has played really, really well against Boston, especially rebounding. He has killed Boston on the boards. He has been huge for the Hawks getting second chance opportunities. And that's the one thing, if this Boston team has a weakness, is rebounding. Remember, they gave up Robert Williams, one of their best rebounders and shot blockers, for Kristaps Porzingis, who is a better scorer of the basketball. But even at his height, he still doesn't maybe dominate on the boards like you think he should and things of that nature. Clint still was able to be a beast on the boards, which led to getting one of the key rebounds in the game and kicking it out for Big Three to Bogdanovic. Or actually, not that play. Kicking it out to Hunter. So, you know, just got to give him his flowers, man. Just like I said, team performance tonight. Bruno had 13 points. Especially after what he just did in Charlotte, which I'll talk about in a second, because I got to mention the Charlotte game. I got to mention Garrison Matthews and Bruno Fernando becoming Kobe and Shaq. You know, Garrison only gave you 6, but he hit a big 3 as the game went on. Wesley, he hit a big 3 as the game went on. It's like, even though they didn't do a lot statistically tonight, they hit timely shots. They hit impactful shots. That is something that, you know, can completely just completely trump a stat line. Well, yeah, Wesley only scored 6 points tonight, but one of his threes got the Hawks a lead. Garrison Matthews, one of his threes got the Hawks an extended lead. So that in and of itself was big. Trent Forrest only played 7 minutes tonight, but good defensively, running the offense, didn't make any mistakes, had a block. This really, really did good tonight, man. Just really, really strong performance from this team across the board, realistically, man. I mean, the Hawks, too, underratedly in these last few games have been really good from 3. They shot 50%, 18 of 36 from 3 tonight, 53% from the field. Free throw shooting, they missed 7. So if they hit more of their free throws, I mean, this game could have been maybe not as close to the end, maybe. Shoot. But, you know, because if you look at Boston, you know, one of the keys to this game was in the second half, the Hawks were able to get the Celtics off the three-point line. If you have watched Boston Celtics versus Atlanta Hawks games the last few times they've played, one of the biggest things that hurts the Hawks is the Boston Celtics seem to get 23s a game against the Hawks, because the Hawks have struggled at defending the 3. And that has been absolutely killer in when these teams play, when the Hawks play Boston. Is that their three-point shooting is just so lights out, it feels like. And in the first half, they were making threes. Second half, they weren't. And they finished only shooting 29% from 3 in the game. You know, they only shot 68% from free throws. Now, they only had 7 turnovers, but they only had 21 assists. Atlanta had 30. Boston stopped. It became more of an ISO game, especially with Jalen and with Jason. They started to become more of an ISO game, which kind of played right into the Hawks' hands. They were able to trap, double, you know, really kind of, you know, start kind of attacking who the ball handler and creating hard shots. Listen, Wesley Matthews, man, he was guarding. Like, you know, Tatum is just a great shot maker, but Wesley was guarding him, physical, in his grill. Like, he was not making it easy. Those guys were playing these guys very difficult, trying to make the shot difficult on these guys for real. So, like I said, the Hawks, man, they played a great game tonight, man. Like that's just great for him. And this is just a great comeback for the Hawks. And like I said, I'm extremely shocked, obviously, by the comeback, but excited. And again, College Park, everybody. You know where Vic Krejci made that improvement? With the Skyhawks. And I'm sure. I'm recording this before I heard any press conferences. I'm sure Quin is going to mention the College Park Skyhawks and mention the improvement Vic Krejci made down there before he got called up to the main roster. And you're seeing it on display. You're seeing the flowers and the fruits of that labor in this game today. So, big win for the Atlanta Hawks, man. Great, exciting win, man. Exciting win. So now, I know I haven't been on for a while. I haven't made a pod in like almost a week. Been busy with some personal life stuff. I always feel like when I take off, a lot of stuff happens, right? Hawks, I believe, the last one was after the LAC series. When they played LA back-to-back. They lost the Suns. Competitive game, but Suns won at the end. Then they beat down Charlotte, which is a team that has gave them historically trouble. And I got to talk about that game for a second because I don't know what got into Garrison Matthews and Bruno Fernando, man. Because, DJ had 28, and it's like, all right, he had a really good game, 10-14, 12 assists, 7-9. All right, he's playing some good basketball. Great, right? Garrison and Bruno had 45 points between the two of them. Garrison was 4-6 from 3. He had a plus-minus of 31 in 27 minutes against Hornets. Bruno, 26 minutes, 25 points, 11 of 14 from the field. That man was great. And like I said, Charlotte's giving the Hawks trouble. So for them to come out and like actually handle the Hornets was actually a sight to behold. And a great sight to behold on top of that. And the thing about it is, and I want to mention this with guys like Bruno. People have been crappy on Bruno. Bruno, I feel like for the majority of his run playing, he has played well. Like as a third center, if you in your head picture a third center in your rotation who plays, and if you're telling me he's giving you, firstly, if he's able to get you 25 in a night, that's fantastic. But Vic, not Vic, but Bruno, I feel like he has a lot of games where he scores between 8 and 12 points when he's the number 2 center. And if you're getting that for your backup center a game, that's really, really good basketball. Like he's limited, yes, but he has improved from the first time he was in Atlanta when he was drafted by Atlanta. He has improved. He is a better player than he was, and you have seen that. He is a legit NBA rotation center in this game, and he has really, really done well under Quin. People be like, I want Bruno off my team. Well, who you going to replace him with? Again, if he's still going to be the third NBA center, we don't need to get some quality center to be the third center because that means he's not going to play. And then y'all going to complain that, he don't play. So it's like your third center should be a guy who has a particular skill set or isn't the greatest center by any stretch of the imagination, but can play when called upon. And that's what Bruno is. And, he, like I said, he played a really good game against the Hornets. Vic had a good game. DeJounte had a big game. Garrison Matthews has gotten a lot of heat. Listen, Garrison Matthews, man, he has one of the best shooting percentages this year in the NBA. I think he's number 1. I think I think overall, I want to say overall, I don't think it's just 3-point percentage. It might be, but I think it's overall 3-point percentage or overall field goal percentage. He is one of the best in the league. Like, the thing with Garrison is if you think about what he does, he really doesn't take a lot of shots. He only takes probably 3 to 5 shots a game. And so if you think about that, like, it's not like he's jacking up a lot of shots. He's not taking a bunch of shots a game because he's only averaging 4 points a game, but he's shooting. Hold on, let me go ahead and get his stat line for y'all real quick, for real. So from 3-point this year with the Atlanta Hawks, he is shooting a career high 43%. Basically 44% from the field. So that is what he's shooting well, right? He's only taking between 1.3 and 1.2 or 2.8 field goals a game, I believe. Actually, that's probably cap. Yeah, I suck at reading stats right now, guys. But basically, he's not taking a lot of shots a game, and that's one reason why he hasn't had the stat line. Even in the Hornets game, he only took a total of 6 shots. 4 threes, that is 12 points. And then you got 4 points from the free throw line. That is 16. And then you get a couple of 2s, which he really doesn't take a lot of 2s. Got you 20. If he's doing that, works for me, man. So just want to quickly touch on that game just because they won that game too. But like I said, historic night for the Atlanta Hawks. Biggest comeback in franchise history. One of the best comebacks of the entire NBA season for this, just in basketball in general. Hawks getting in on the March Madness, winning tonight. Big game over the Boston Celtics in Atlanta. State Farm was rocking. Hawks fans, enjoy it tonight. You know, you got to get ready. Got a back-to-back coming up here. Play the Celtics again on Thursday, so they're probably going to be chomping at the bit to get back at us, back at Atlanta. But between that, the Hawks also get a rematch against Portland on Wednesday. So good chance for the Hawks to get revenge for the loss in Portland about a week and a half ago. But that's all I got here for you guys on the Believe in Hawks podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Obviously, if you enjoyed this, leave a comment down below, whether this is through audio or YouTube. If it's YouTube, subscribe. If it's audio, leave a rating and a review. Appreciate you guys. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Bryce_2K for all my Hawks takes as well. So appreciate you guys. This is your Believe in Hawks podcast. It's your boy, Bryce Lewis, signing out.